up YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny James, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you this cool little collage transition, and we shall be implementing a few paper textures and we shall work with Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Premiere only. Okay, so I have a few clips on my timeline. Here I have two. We are going to be transitioning between this clip and this other clip using the collage that you're going to be making from Photoshop. From the video right beside here, I've taken a few screenshots, and how to take a screenshot, you just go to the area you want to export the frame, like right here. There is this little camera, you can export a frame. I'll click it and I'll name this 010. I'm naming it 010 because I've taken other screenshots of the same video and they are going to my desktop. If you cannot find this little camera, you can always go to this button editor and it should be right here. We've done this in our recent tutorial, so it shouldn't be hard to follow through. So I'll delete this video from the timeline now. And we have these two clips to work with. Here are the screenshots that we've already taken. I'll put them in one folder so that we can easily navigate through. And now we have like 10 frames that we can work with. We'll not need all of them, we'll just need a couple. With these few screenshots that we've taken, we're going to take them to Photoshop individually and see what you can make of them. I'll open Photoshop, I'll create a 1920 by 1080 because that's the same dimensions on my Adobe Premiere Pro timeline. So let's drag each photo individually and see how we can style them up. I want to start with the photo which should be the main one behind. I think I want to go with this one, so I'll drag it to my Photoshop and it should fit perfectly. I want this to be my main canvas. I don't want to have a white background. Instead, we can have something dark going on. For this photo, we can play with a few things. We can add a hue and saturation. We can add noise. You can make it look a little bit not like the exported frame. So let's see what you can improvise here. So instead of using a hue and saturation, I will go to filter and I look for noise. I want to add noise. 17, it's a lot. Something like 5. You can choose to go with a monochromatic or a uniform distribution, which I feel like it's okay. I also want to add something which will give it some color depth, maybe something like a photo filter. This is a warm filter, you can go for a cool one. There are a couple ones to choose, but all this is not necessary in order to come up with a final outcome. So I'll go with this yellowish, that's okay. And now I'll click these two layers and let's right click and merge layers. Let's call this background. Now let's drag another frame that you can use. I'll go to my folder and bring it up. Just drag and drop it. I want to make it to scale it down so that it can be smaller. We're going to use a few paper rips that I've made. I'm going to add a link description if you need to download and use them. They are right here on my desktop. I have these paper rips that I've made using Photoshop. I can drag one like this and let's put it on top of this layer. I'll rotate it. I'll have it set somewhere like there. I'll try to scale it down by pressing Ctrl T and I'll try to uniformly make it smaller. Again, you want this to be right behind this photo. What I mean is that from these layers, I need this photo to be above that paper rip that I just brought in. I'll also right click on that photo, that exported frame, and I'll create a clipping mask. That means the photo will only encompass the area within this other one. And you can even make it bigger like that. Now, since we have these two, remember these two are independent, they are all together. I want to go on this photo and I'll change my blending mode to screen. And now you can see what I was trying to come up with. Now we can merge these layers and let's call this one 09. That's okay. We can delete any extras on this photo. So I'll make sure that this layer, we can always go for a rectangular marquee tool and delete maybe this is too white, like that. Let's have this photo somewhere here. I'll make it smaller. So with this layer, I'm going to come in with my polygon lasso tool and sort of slice through and then go around it and then connect it. I'll press Ctrl J and now let me hide the layer above. Now we have a layer with only the area that we have selected. Let me go back to my selection tool. Let's disable this layer and re-enable the layer below. Now we want to also get a selection which we hadn't which does not involve the one above. And the easiest way to do that, just make sure you're on this layer, hold Control and click right above here. You'll see the matching ants showing on where you did select, and you can press delete. Remember that we have disabled this layer on top so we can see the other side. You can use your mouse to separate this photo like this, just something cool. So you're going to be repeating the same process with these other picture frames that we took. I'll take this photo right over here, drag it into my folders and put it like that. If you noticed, I also added this small lock. It's because whenever I tried to navigate or change this background will try moving, so I had to lock it so that it cannot move. So that's a little cool trick that you can learn today. Instead of it moving whenever you're trying to make some changes, you can always go here and lock that layer. So with this second screenshot, I'll go to my paper textures and I'll drag one more. I love this one, 013. You can put it as it is, you can even rotate it and put it right above this one and scale it down. As we did previously, I'll drag the photo above this one and then I'll right click on this photo and create a clipping mask. Hold Ctrl T and expand this photo. Yeah, something like that. That looks okay. Again, we go to our blending modes, change that to screen, and you already have something good. As we did previously, once we've done this, I'll click on these two layers, hold Shift, click on the two of them, right click and merge these layers. As we did previously, we can try splitting these layers into something. In this time, back to our polygon lasso tool, go right around this, go to the end and connect it, press Ctrl J. Now we have a layer above. Let me disable. Now we've selected this layer above. I can go on again on this one. Let me disable the layer that you've done. Let's split it into three. I'll select this one half side, connect it and press Ctrl J. Now it's important to name your layers so that you can always follow through with them. Let me disable what you have. So this is the one that you've selected currently. This is the layer 2. If I re-enable the layer above, we have this layer 1. Now you want to have another selection of the part that was remaining. The easiest way we can do, make sure to be on that layer, hold Control, click on the layer above and it will select it. As you can see, these matching ants, press delete. Again, click on this, hold Control, click on the layer above and it will go around it. As you can see, these matching ants, and press delete. Let's look at all these layers. I'll rename them. So we're going to be doing more or less the same thing over the duration, and I'll try to separate them also. Maybe I'll put them here, and you can always go an extra mile. You can try to do your own thing. I can also bring a few paper rips, look like a torn paper like this one. I'll drag it right here like that, and you can also change the blending mode for this to screen, something like that. It's just a small detail which sells the idea per se. It looks like you have a sellotape and you're trying to join these together. And now let's drag 2 more screenshots and then you can be done with this. Now we are done with Photoshop. We've made the basic framework for this. Now we are going to be using these layers on Adobe Premiere to come up with the final result. Make sure to save this file. I've named it something and I have it stored. So I'll go to my project bin, I go to File and I'll hit Import. Here it is. It's on my documents right under the Adobe Photoshop folder. I'll open it. In this part, make sure to select individual layers, and now you can see the layers just as how we had arranged them on Photoshop. Now you can click OK. Now it creates a folder containing all the pictures. Now under the folder, we are now going to start arranging these ones. I'll start with placing my background. I'll not worry about the duration it will stay. As soon as the 2 frames were over, I'll bring another slide. So I'll bring the 003 bottom right, and you'll see it comes right in and then starts that one. After 2 frames, 1, 2, I'll bring the other one. So it goes 1, 2, and then they start appearing slowly. So I'll drag this other one. And you also needed this sticker which was right here. So I'll bring it maybe before this other one. Instead of this one, I'll bring the sticker. And then after 1, 2, I'll bring now the final part of this. And for this sticker, go to your effect controls and change the blend mode to screen. And it should be okay now. I'll drag something else which was on top, this one. Yeah, so we shall start that one. Now, but instead of this, I want something that will come to the right hand side. We had this one right here. And then 2 frames, introduce the other one, 009, the second part. And then you can go on just adding them, and I'll bring my top part, but after 2 frames. I'm sorry, I forgot, 1, 2, and then it should come right in. Now let's drag the next one, 005, but right after going 2 frames, and then right here, 2 frames, drag the other one, 2 frames, drag the final piece. So we brought everything that we had. Let me expand this. We've ended up using like 10-12 tracks, so they should end somewhere here. They don't need to be long. Now let's preview so far what it looks like. Yeah, it's very short. Now I'll drag this clip right here. You can highlight on all these files, right click and nest them. And now it should be very easy to give movement to this. You can go to motion and scale it. Maybe it can go from 100 to 110, and then I'll push this keyframe to the very end. It will make the effect look like this. It sort of zooms in as it goes on, and at the very end, just make sure it doesn't remain for long. After everything has showed up, make sure the next clip comes in. Just like that. You can even take this a notch higher. Let's remove these keyframes. And if you have a sapphire pack, I'll go to my effects and look for sapphire shake. I've shown this in a previous tutorial. What sapphire is, it's a plugin which makes most of your editing easier, as it will automate some of the things. I'll go to my settings for this sapphire shake, and I'll change the amplitude, just make it something small, like a 0.6. Yeah. And that way it brings that bouncing effect. Yeah. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you've enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, as it will help distribute this video into people with the same interest as you. Comment if you have any questions, queries, or suggestions you'd like to see me do. Otherwise, make sure to stay creative.